Guys, Illinois, my home state, is picking a new flag. I don't know why. This is news to me. I found out yesterday, and I figured it would probably be good for us to go through and see what the finalists are. There have been other states that have been switching up their flag, and for whatever reason, Illinois decided to hop on this trend. This down here is our current flag. This is Illinois' current flag. I said Illinois because I'm using it as a possessive. I can pronounce Illinois correctly. Don't worry. Don't mean to jump scare any of my fellow citizens here. But, you know, it's not the best flag in the world. It's a little quirky. The eagle's looking a little funny, but I think it's fine. The eagle is pretty cool. You got a shield here with the American flag on there. That's awesome. A sunset in the background over some... That's supposed to be water, but it kind of just looks like a long, hairy leg. And then it says, State Sovereignty National Union. That means nothing to me. Those are just words. Anyway, it's a fine flag. I don't love it. I don't hate it. But I think it stands out well enough. I'm so sorry, but the current one looks like a kindergarten art project. Why does your bear look like that? Let's go through some of these flags. There have been 10 finalists selected for what our new state flag is going to be. I think voting opens in January, so I figured we'd get ahead of the curve. We can all share our opinions on the different flags and decide which one I'm going to vote for come January. In the fall of 2004, I lived in Chicago and was studying industrial design at UIC. My great-grandfather, Harry James McCartney, I'm so sorry, I'm not wearing my glasses, so I apologize if I butcher some of these, was an engraver in Chicago. He worked downtown at the Sears, Roebuck & Co., where he illustrated and engraved images of lamps, heaters, and other household accessories that were printed on the pages of the Sears mail order catalog. Sears is barely around anymore. I think there's like 6 locations across the U.S. now. His father was James A. McCartney, a Civil War veteran from Illinois. He became the Illinois Attorney General from 1881 to 1885. This guy's straight up just flexing his family history on us. Explain the meaning behind your flag. The 21 red plus white stripes represent Illinois as the 21st state of this union. The blue field with the 6-pointed star represents Chicago. Oh my God. Okay, all right. This is going to be a common trend amongst these flags, I bet. Everyone thinks Illinois is Chicago. The only people who don't think Illinois is just Chicago are people who live in Illinois outside of Chicago. And even in the suburbs of Chicago, look, I live in Rockford. I live about an hour and a half away from Chicago. Even people think Rockford is Chicago. Or even people from Rockford think Illinois is Chicago. It's not. It's not. Most of Illinois is farmland. It's just, we have Chicago too. Look, I already didn't like this design very much. I think it's a little corny to have a giant letter on your flag. I think there's one acceptable letter to have on the flag, and that's a C, because you can kind of, you can kind of argue that it's just a semicircle. Like, you can fit that into different designs. This is an I, and it's not even really a good I. I don't like the slants here. I think that looks odd. Wait, hold on. Okay. Yeah, the last blurb was just about the eye. It's just a weird design. I don't know. This is freaking me out a little bit. And the fact that this represents Chicago is just... Oh. People from Chicago love Chicago so much that they think that they can just say that all of Illinois is that city. I vote no. I vote no too. Don't like it. Thank you. Thank you. Glad we're all on the same page. All right, flag number 2. I like butterflies. I do not want a butterfly on my flag. We are better than this. Not bad? No. 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 I refuse to live in a state where we have a giant butterfly on our flag. All right, here's the problem with this butterfly. Not only is it just a butterfly, not only is it an insect on our flag, it's the butterfly itself is very top heavy. So it doesn't look centered. It feels like this butterfly should be shifted up a little bit, but the problem is if you do that, the wings here will be too close to the stars and this will have too much of a gap. I think just from a pride standpoint, the butterfly is bad, and from a design standpoint, the butterfly is bad. The students who worked on this flag are high school students in Illinois named Jonah and Sprezalin. I can tell you who's not graduating this year. The state butterfly, the monarch, is the focal point of this flag that includes 21 stars for Illinois being the 21st state. The large star represents Illinois. The orange represents success, determination, and creativity. The only way I can imagine it representing that is because of Trump. And it's a bit of a stretch. The butterfly's a bit much for me. We have an eagle. Eagles are awesome. I could slap a butterfly out of the air. I vote no. I also vote no. This one's so odd to me. It was almost 420. So that's awesome. Relationship to Illinois, born and raised from 1984 to 2002. I spent my childhood in central Illinois. I've lived and worked in Bloomington Normal for 26 of my 40 years of life. My dad's sister and niece and the majority of my aunts and uncles live here. All of my grandparents are buried here. I found out about this commission only days ago after spending 2 years abroad. I found this old design from 2016 just today. It needs works. It lacks our current eagle, perhaps to be placed in white silhouette above the star. Doing a little too much there. Doing a little too much. This one is the best. Out of the 3 so far, this one is the best. It's just Abraham's side profile is freaking me out a little bit. I couldn't explain why. The slice of Old Glory is also a nod to the French flag. No. Immediate no. Where do you think we are? France? A single star shines our contribution to the Union. Fair enough. I love seeing stars on a flag. Abe's silhouette reminds us of our past. The red field highlights our present Illinois' most iconic border formed by the mighty Mississippi. Its steady flow as progress itself cuts through our banner in white, leading us ever to the future. The flag still lacks any representation of our Illinois and Miami heritage, which should be added by their progeny. This guy's criticizing his own flag too much. Just, if you're going to send it, you got to send it. But also, don't send it because this was influenced by the French flag, and I refuse. I refuse to have that in our flag. All right, next page. Ooh. I kind of like this one. I feel like there's something a little odd, something a little off about it that I'm not 100% on board with it, but this is a very clean design. I like it so far. As someone born, raised, and educated in the state of Illinois, probably shouldn't be too prideful on the educated part, but born and raised, sure. I am proud to call Illinois home and plan to do so for life. I'm so sorry. Born here, great. Taxes are a little high. All right, let's be honest. You don't want to live here forever. You just want to be here for Chicago, and then just see Chicago. Even though that's not the entire state, you just want to see that city and then get on out. But that's beside the point. I believe strongly that my character and view of the world as a citizen and as an architect have been shaped by the cultural, geographic, economic, historical, and architectural diversity of our state. And by state, he means Chicago. The 4 dark blue stars in this submission represent the 4 geographic features that hold the greatest geographic, economic, and historic significance in the creation of Illinois. Lake Michigan, the Mississippi, I'll take it since it's a river and not Ohio itself, but you're walking on thin ice here. And the Chicago River. The corn kernels and 21-pronged gear that form... Okay, that's actually pretty clever. Like, the gear itself has 21 prongs. I like that. I like that. Gear that form our state flower, the violet. Okay. If you suspend a little bit of disbelief, I can see it. Violet represent the agricultural and industrial foundations of our state and its status as the 21st state admitted to the Union. Illinois was actually a huge industry state back in the day. I don't know how much it is now, but yeah, huge on industry. Rockford is known as Screw City because we were like the biggest producer of screws. I don't think we produced screws at all anymore, but we used to. And we were good at it. I like this one. This one's a strong maybe. I like the colors. I love a light blue, a dark blue, and some white. I think the gear... I think it's the gear that I'm not really a big fan of. I don't know. It seems a little steampunkish to me. I probably wouldn't vote for it, but if it won, I wouldn't be upset. I vote maybe. I also vote maybe. I'm glad we're all on the same page so far. All right. I've lived here for nearly 10 years and have grown to love this state. It's an excellent place to settle down. He probably lived in California before. With welcoming people who have always made me feel at home. From stunning city views to beautiful countryside, my appreciation for the state has deepened. A large gold star in the center draws attention. Mustard yellow. Much like the standout features of our state, name one. If we have so many standout features of our state, name it. I already know what you're thinking. Chicago. These people love Chicago so much. He didn't say Chicago, and I know he means Chicago. Gold color mustard yellow symbolizes our richness, the richness in our state, people, land, and views. A horizontal blue line, symbolizes Lake Michigan, separating the sky from the rich land. 2 smaller lines add a neat, elegant touch. All right, thank God he's not being like, oh, this represents this. He's just like, it looked nice. That's why I put it in there. I appreciate the honesty. The central circle abstractly represents the view from above Abraham Lincoln's... Okay. They're just saying that. Okay. Like, I get it. They're just saying that. They're just trying to get brownie points for that. I hope one of the flags just has the bean on it and nothing else. Until I know what this center star is, I can't in good faith vote for this one. Because I know it represents Chicago. Very, very, very low maybe. This one's whatever. I just don't really like how old-timey it looks. Relationship to Illinois. Ever since I was a kid, I've been proud to call Springfield my home. I came from generations of Illinoisans and have chosen to raise my family here as well. I've spent much of my life exploring the state and experiencing its wonders firsthand. What I've found is There is much to what makes Illinois great. Our rich history, our landscape, our variety of people, and the places they live. Not just Chicago. Thank you. My designs reflect these qualities in a way that can hopefully inspire others to share my pride for my home. The outline of Abraham Lincoln symbolizes liberty and Abraham Lincoln, opportunity and Abraham Lincoln, and the equality of all people. Did I mention it also represents Abraham Lincoln? The circle of 21 stars represents our communal togetherness and honors our state, being the 21st to join the USA. The white star symbolizes Oh my god. Can we stop with the Chicago glaze? I live in Illinois, and I'm over it. And it's upper right locate. Why do we love Chicago so? You don't even live in Chicago. You live in Springfield. Dark blue represents our blue-collar attitude and industrial power. Gold represents our prairie and agricultural history. White represents our bright spirit. This is a low maybe, but it's not as low as this one. All my homies hate Chicago. I don't hate Chicago. I just think we don't need to glaze it in our flag. It's a cool city. I like going to Chicago for a visit. It's a fun place. We don't need it in our flag. I vote no. Look, for all intents and purposes, it's a no, but like, it's a fine design, but yeah. Don't like this one. I already know this blue represents Chicago. I already know. I have lived in Illinois for my entire life, 40 years. My flag uses a silhouette design of the state of Illinois as the focal point. I always felt Illinois had a distinct outline. It does. I'd agree with that. Additionally, 21 stars, circle to state to symbolize the 21st state to enter the Union. Additionally, I use the circular design to symbolize Illinois being a kind of center of the country. Oh my God, my typing is so bad today. Yeah, that looks in the middle. All right, hold on. Yep, checks out. If you put a line there and a line there, they would cross right there. Smack dab in the middle. Checks out. Whether is geographically or from... Here we go again. From Chicago serving as a hub for train and air traffic. Actually, out of all the reasonings I've seen so far, that's the fairest. Finally, the blue edges represent the Mississippi River and Lake Michigan, which flank the state. Actually, okay. I don't like the design, but the reasoning is pretty good. We got two bodies of water on each side of the state. One of them's kind of barely there, but you know, ignore that fact. I don't like the blue lines, but the reasoning there. I respect the design, but I don't want it. This one's a no, but I don't hate it. Oh, this one's actually pretty. I don't know if I feel like it represents. I already know these stars may or may not represent Chicago. I swear to God, if another reasoning, another explanation mentions Chicago, I'm gonna lose it. It doesn't feel serious enough, but I like her. Yeah. That was actually a really good way to describe how I feel. Like, I can't really take it seriously, but like, it's clean. It's got some fun lines here. I like that. My connection to Illinois runs deep. My ancestors came from Ireland. Doesn't sound like Illinois. Contradiction right there. Ireland is a different word from Illinois. In early 1900s and settled in Gridley, Illinois, where they farmed corn, soybeans, and raised livestock. Now that's Illinois for you. Corn and soybeans with just a little bit of livestock. My father grew up on that same farm while my mother was raised in Champaign. They met at Illinois State University, where I also earned my Bachelor of Arts in Graphic Design. And this flag is the only way I'm going to be able to leave my mark on the world. I've lived in Illinois my entire life, and its agricultural landscapes and small town values. Small towns and one really big town values make me proud to call Illinois home. The 21 stripes represent Illinois as the 21st state and reflect its agricultural roots, resembling rows of crops and the open prairie. There we go. We forget how much of Illinois is farmland, and this respects that. I like it. I like it. 3 pointed stars represent the state's 3 regions, northern, central, and southern. That I feel like could be applied to anywhere, but okay. And their 18 points reference Illinois being founding in 1818. A sun on the horizon also featured on our current state flag, a feature which I actually appreciate. Thank you. I pointed that out earlier. It's a little funky looking, but it's there. Represents renewal. The colors blue for unity, green for agriculture, and yellow for a bright future. Honor Illinois history and natural beauty. Thank you. For once, I thought it was going to be about Chicago. It wasn't. We actually are focusing on Illinois' deep agricultural roots, which do not get appreciated enough. Because of Chicago, the more I heard about this, the more they explained it, the more I liked it. I respect it. I respect it. That one's gonna... Almost yes. We are on the same wavelength tonight. That is a strong almost yes for me. We all see it. It's like that meme from The Office where Pam gives Dwight, or was it Dwight? No, not Dwight. Who was it? It was Creed. Pam gave Creed 2 pictures of the building and was like, corporate needs you to spot the difference between these 2 pictures. There's at least 6. And then it cuts to her saying, they're the same picture. That's how I feel right now. This one is me when I'm trying not to get flagged for plagiarism. My late wife, Maureen Thomas, was born and raised in Oak Park, Illinois. The idea of mine is simply an embellishment of the existing flag, helps to save money on entire new design. No, it doesn't, because you still have to print new flags, and it's not even worth it because it's not even really that new of a design. Placing red and blue vertical bars on each end with a narrow white stripe in between the colors eliminates the seal on bedsheet look. Not overly imaginative. Not imaginative. We can just stop right there. We can cut that word out of there. But practical and economic, it's a no from me. It's just a not as good version of the current flag. Let's see here. That was we're already through 9. Holy heck, I didn't realize we were going through these so fast. You know what the worst part is? This is a good design. It is. I am 18 years old. That explains it all. This is a high school student or, freshly out of high school individual who was memeing. They saw this contest and said, what if I made the North Korea flag, but it wasn't the North Korea flag? And here it is in the top 10. A lifelong resident born in Moline, currently living in Rock Island. My parents were also born and raised in the state. The flag is divided into 7 stripes in a pattern of white and blue alternating. The biggest blue stripe represents Lake Michigan, while the smaller blue stripes represent the state's various rivers such as Mississippi and the Illinois. Right. Because Illinois only has 2 rivers. And also, another fact to bring up, a couple of the other flags also mention Lake Michigan. Can we also just point out the fact that, hold on. Can we also just point out the fact that we barely claim Lake Michigan? We're barely there. Just the tip. Savannah, you're funny tonight. You're funny tonight. You're quick with it. The center blue stripe contains 20 smaller stars surrounding a center star, which represents Illinois as the 21st state. The small white stripe represents the state's industry and commerce, while the bigger white stripes represent the state's agriculture. A bit of a stretch. Actually, a complete stretch. I don't know what those colors have to do with that at all. The thing is that out of all the designs here, this is the cleanest. I'm very conflicted on this because on one hand, I actually really like the design. Okay, I'm sorry. I like the design. It's clean. I like the contrast. It's not overdoing too much. I think it just overall looks really good, as simple as it is. But the representation and what each thing means is a bit of a stretch, but we can change those later on. The memes would be endless. For the next 100 years that we have this flag, the memes would be so funny. This has potential to be the funniest flag, while also just being a good-looking flag. It's a good flag with a dirty secret. I know this 18-year-old in Rock Island is cackling right now. He is laughing so hard at the fact that his flag made it to the top 10. I think my top pick legitimately is this one. I think I would go for a darker blue just because I think a dark blue is awesome. Maybe even a slightly darker green, but I actually really like this one, both in terms of design and its meaning. I just think it's a little too fun for a flag. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean. Like with all these curvy lines, it's getting a little silly, but I like it. I think my second place is gonna be this one. I also like the colors on this one. Overall, it's just clever. Between the gear, the corn, the flower, all of it's really clever, and it's just well designed. And I think my third place pick is number 200 here. That definitely isn't the North Korean flag. Definitely not. I think my vote's being cast on this one, number 2246, but I won't be upset if this wins. I'll be a little upset if this wins, but I will also find it very funny.